Hey gamers, welcome to Polygon Legends. I'm your host, Serge. So growing up in the 90s, the Sega Saturn was the holy grail of gaming, a powerhouse in its own right, but often overshadowed by its competitors. So was it just a casualty of a hyper-competitive era? Or is it actually a hidden gem of 32-bit gaming? And is now the time to add one to your collection? Let's go ahead and explore this topic. Thanks for watching my channel. And if you're into retro gaming, please go ahead, like and subscribe. My channel is small, but my goal is to reach 100 subscribers. Can you help me make that happen? Thank you. So the 32-bit era came right after the 16-bit era. It was a time of massive change in the gaming world. We were moving from flat 2D sprites to full 3D environments. CD-ROMs were replacing cartridges, giving us games with more storage, better sound, and even full-motion video cutscenes. Sega pulled the trigger with their Saturn, and Sony made their grand entrance with the PlayStation, and Nintendo, of course, fashionably late to the party with their N64.
It's me, Mario!
I wanted one so badly, but despite having a clean room and getting good grades, the Sega Saturn was always out of reach. Maybe it was finances. Who knows? But that Saturn-shaped hole in my heart, it just wouldn't go away. Fast forward to when I was 15 years old, I landed my first part-time job at the local bowling alley. Do you know what I did with my first paycheck? I hopped on the bus to the mall with my brother, and we bought a Sega Saturn. I didn't get this one actually. I got a used one from Babbage's. Actually, let me show it to you. So as you can see, this actually only cost me $70. This was like 1996, something like that. Let's take a look at what's inside. So voila, my first Sega Saturn. Look at that beauty. It's a Model 1 and it still works to this day. Look, I have a Japanese virtual on in there. Here's my memory card that I ended up buying. Plugs in right there. So my Sega Saturn came with 3 games. The first one being Virtual Cop. The second one being Daytona USA. And the third game in the bundle, Virtua Fighter 2. Now, my favorite of these 3 games was, let's see if you can guess. It was Daytona USA. Why don't you go ahead and let me know in the comment what your favorite Sega Saturn game was. I added Magic Knight Ray Earth and Shining Wisdom to my collection. So needless to say, working design games, pure gold. Chef's kiss, as they say. My brother got Johnny Bazooka Tone, which was a quirky little game, a little side-scroller, platformer, but it was fun. We ended up picking up Sega Rally, Albert Odyssey, and Crime Wave along the way. And let's not forget Nights into Dreams. I absolutely love that game. I love the soundtrack. I still listen to it to this day. And it came with this awesome analog 3D controller. But the real game changer for me was when I bought this 4 meg card. It had like an action replay. It was a 4 meg expansion. It had like extra memory to transfer your games to. And it allowed you to play Japanese Saturn games. So I ended up picking up a couple of Saturn games with my brother. We got Metal Slug, and we also got Thunder Force 5. We were in absolute heaven. Now fast forward to today, and my love for the Sega Saturn still burns strong right here in my heart. And if you've got your own Sega Saturn story, I'd love to hear it. Drop it in the comments as well. Now let's talk about some of the best games that the Sega Saturn had to offer. First up, we have Panzer Dragoon Saga. This game was a groundbreaking RPG that blended on-rail shooting with turn-based combat. It was visually stunning for its time, with a unique post-apocalyptic world and dragon-riding gameplay. Sadly, its limited production run makes it incredibly rare today. I mean, check out these prices. Virtua Fighter 2 was a technical marvel. It took the 3D fighting genre to new heights with its fluid animations and deep combat system. The game used the Saturn's capabilities to deliver arcade-perfect graphics and gameplay. Nights into Dreams was a visual feast and totally unique. You played as knights flying through colorful 3D landscapes. The game came with a special analog controller for smooth flight controls, It showcased the Saturn's ability to handle fast, fluid 3D environments. Sega Rally brought the arcade racing experience home. It was one of the first games to feature different surface types affecting car handling. The graphics and sense of speed were incredible for the time. Guardian Heroes was a side-scrolling beat-em-up with RPG elements. It featured branching paths, multiple endings, and even a competitive mode. The game showed off the Saturn's 2D prowess with detailed sprites and chaotic on-screen action. Radiant Silvergun. This vertical shooter is considered one of the best in its genre. Radiant Silvergun had a unique weapon system and a surprisingly deep story for a shoot-'em-up. It demonstrated Saturn's ability to handle intense 2D action with tons of sprites on the screen. Burning Rangers was an innovative 3D action game where you played as a futuristic firefighter. It pushed the Saturn's 3D capabilities to the limit, and it featured an innovative navigation system using audio cues. This strategy RPG let you command massive armies in real-time battles. Dragon Force was epic in scope with multiple playable characters and branching storylines. It showed how the Saturn could handle complex, large-scale gameplay. I mean, I loved the battles in this game. Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei was the sequel to the original Panzer Dragoon, and it improved on its predecessor in every way. The rail shooter gameplay was tight, the visuals were stunning, and your dragon evolved based on your performance. It was a showcase of what rail shooters could be on 32-bit hardware. Last but not least, Shining Force 3 was an ambitious tactical RPG. In Japan, it was released as a 3-part series, where your choices in each game affected the others. It demonstrated the Saturn's potential for expansive, interconnected storytelling. These games show the diverse range of experiences the Saturn offered, from pushing the boundaries of 3D with fighters and racers, to delivering some of the best 2D action around. The Saturn's library was truly special. It's games like these that make me believe the Saturn deserved that hidden gem status. Let's wrap this up by talking about why now, more than ever, is the perfect time to add a Sega Saturn to your retro collection. Titles like Panzer Dragoon Saga and Radiant Silvergun are finally getting the acclaim they always deserved. Modern displays are breathing new life into Saturn games. With the right setup, these games can look crisp and vibrant on your HD or even 4K TV. The Saturn modding community is on fire right now. We're talking optical drive emulators like Mode that let you load games from an SD card. It's never been easier to get the most out of your Saturn. Now I know what you're thinking. Aren't Saturn games crazy expensive these days? And yeah, some of the rarer titles can cost a pretty penny. But here's the thing. With the internet, we now have access to games we never did before. Remember in my last video how I mentioned about the Saru? Well, with devices like that, you can play prototypes, unreleased games, and titles that never made it out of Japan. It's like discovering a whole new library of Saturn games. Lastly, and maybe most importantly, it's about experiencing a unique moment in gaming history. The Saturn represents a transition period that moves from 2D to 3D, from sprites to polygons. Playing a Saturn today is like opening up a time capsule to one of the most exciting, experimental eras in gaming. I think there's never been a better time to dive into the world of Sega right now. Trust me, your retro gaming collection isn't complete without it. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. Now next week, we'll be looking at my Polymega. Can I actually use it now? Let's find out. Thanks for watching Polygon Legends. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. That's it for now. Keep it retro, gamers. Catch you on the next one.